Okay, hello everyone. Today will be a slightly different video. I wanted to do it since some time, and I think that will be the right time to do it, since we had very big changes in terms of recoil, and balancing changes, recent balancing changes, which changed the game a little bit. So as for today, I've planned to do a operator tier list, what I will be basing my judgment on. So let's lay out the criteria, and the criteria for this will be the usefulness of the gadget, like how much it contributes to the team, how much it contributes to the strategy, and the kit that the operator has. So is it a overloaded kit, so like it is a one-man army, or is it not really that great? Uh, is it helping the team? Is it good for solo fragging, or is it just plain useless? So let's start off with our basic operators. First we have Sledge. Okay, so Sledge has a pretty decent gun. You can't say it isn't. Maximum 1.5 scope, that's okay. Like, some people prefer to use higher magnification scopes, like 2.5 scopes. I mean, okay, 2.5 scopes, but after year 5, season 3, we have those medium scopes, which are 1.5, 2.0, and even the larger one, 3.0. So 1.5 isn't really that bad. It's like the best of both worlds. You can use it at close range, but it also gives you that extra magnification, so you can aim towards distant enemies. Secondary, he has only a pistol. He used to have a SMG-11, but his kit was slightly overloaded. He still has nades, and they recently gave him EMP impact grenades, which are Thatcher grenades, but explode upon impact and have a much shorter radius, so you have to be more precise with those. So his kit, basically, it allows you to frag, but it also allows you to help the team out. As for the gadgets, which is his hammer, it is helpful, especially if you want to play vertical. Then his hammer plus nades give you a really nice pressure for vertical push. So overall, I would say like Sledge is like he's a solid pick. Like, you can never go wrong with picking Sledge, so I would say he's like A tier. Next up we have Thatcher. Same guns as Sledge. Besides that, like for secondary gadgets, Thatcher has breaching charges and claymores, so definitely more of a team-based operator. And his gadget is of course useful because it turns off electricity gadgets, cameras, etc. So right now I would say he's like an A plus. He would be S tier. I'm torn between A plus and S tier because like he is very great, but he's also banned a lot, so there is no much use. But let's leave him in the S tier for now. Smoke, shotgun, SMG-11, shield, so a lot of anchor pressure can be put. You can, and especially his gadget, which is a gas grenade that damages the opponents over time. It's definitely useful for contesting areas. One example that I can think of would be to play smoke in basement of bank. You make a hole from all the way from lockers, so that you can throw your gas grenades into the other bomb site. I forgot how it's called. So I'm sorry for that. And then you also make a hole on the second wall in the lockers, aiming towards the main stairs, and suddenly you can hold two separate angles and maintain that pressure. So, like, based on his kit and how useful he is to the team, I would say he's maybe not S tier, but I would say he's like A plus. He's again a solid pick. Like, you can never go wrong with it. Same goes for mute, like shotgun, SMG-11, C4, so a lot of pressure can be made. Mute jammers, which are helpful to stop the enemy team from gathering intel, or even for basic wall denial. Like, yeah, pretty much. Like, you can frag with it, but that's not his main purpose. So, like, I would say he's also an A tier operator. Thermite. Okay gun. Okay pistol. Smokes, so you can smoke off the angles. So that's also helpful, of course, to breaching charges, which open up a whole wall. That's also important. Maximum magnification, I think it's 2.5. Yeah, 2.5. But again, like, he also has the other scopes, so whatever you prefer, it's going to be good. Usefulness of the gadget, of course, useful, but he's like team dependent. He cannot, like, if there's electricity on the wall, it's in most cases impossible for Termite to open it by themselves. So hard breachers are very team dependent. But besides that, I would like put him in. I would put him in A tier. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Next up we have Ash, free speed. Sorry, actually, yeah. Or no, wait, no, yeah, it's speed and health. So free speed, a very strong gun, slightly high recoil, but after recent changes it was decreased a bit. So a operator with a lot of fragging potential. Gadget that helps to rush, but also can be used to do vertical holes. But you can also have breaching charges for that, so that's just another possibility. So you can either just use it to entry frag and put pressure on the enemies, or you can be the one to entry frag, clear out, and then help the team push from top. But your job as Ash is to make those entry frags regardless of what you want to do later. You have to get those early picks. Odin, like, is it S tier? Not really. It isn't a all can do operator. So like I would put it rather in A plus, or maybe even in A, because like Sledge can do most of the things that Ash can do, not as fast, but Sledge still can do entry fragging. You can definitely entry frag as Sledge, but also Sledge has nades. So like I would feel bad if I would put Ash higher than Sledge, especially that I divided the tier list into like subcategories, like A plus, B plus, because like I knew that I would be like torn with Smoke to like put him in A, or do I put him in S tier, and I knew that I'll have a couple operators like that, so that's why I decided to opt in for those subcategories. Next up we have Pulse. He's okay. Like, he has a UMP, he has a shotgun, and for how Pulse is supposed to be played, definitely a shotgun fits slightly better. He also has a C4, and his gadget is, of course, detecting the heartbeat of the opponent operators, so that you know where they are. But is he an A grade operator? I would say no. If I would have to put him, I would say he's like B tier. maybe B plus. He's definitely not A. He's definitely not A plus, and definitely not S tier. I'm thinking between. I'm thinking between B and B plus. To be fair, I would say maybe B because of the shotgun. It's not really that great. I mean, you can shoot fast with it, but there are better shotguns. For Castle. Huh. Well, his gadgets are definitely more like area security. I don't know how to say that. His secondary gadgets are proximity alarms, and I honestly don't even know what's his second. I think it's bulletproof cam, but I might be wrong, so I'm not gonna say anything about that because like 99.9% of the time he's played with the proximity alarm. For guns, like UMP is decent. It has a very slow fire rate, so it's more of a pea shooter. You just point at the head and click. But for secondary, he has a super shorty, so he's definitely better in side setup. I, it's and he also has like 4 of his main gadgets, which are like better barricades that you can only take down using either explosives or by punching it for a very long time. I think it takes 9 melee punches. Yeah, 9 melee punches until the castle barricade is torn down. So like, I, he's definitely not S tier. He's definitely not A plus. Is he A tier? I would say B plus, just based on the gun. If he would have a better gun, then I would definitely put him higher. But like his gadgets are definitely useful for not even stopping pushes, because well, you have operators like Ash, Sledge, who else? Let's take a look. That would be Hibana, okay, Zofia, um, Lion Finka, Maverick maybe. Any other operator? Kali, Ace. Uh, I think Zero also has the ability, because like, well, what I'm looking at right now, I'm looking at attackers that have either explosives or Gun 6. Well, okay, it's also an explosive. Oh yeah, Buck got a Gun 6 in the last balancing update. I forgot about that. So, like, some of the operators, like for example, Jackal or Capitao or IQ, would be stopped because of that barricade, the castle barricade. So yeah, I think I'm pretty confident in saying that. Okay, it's a B plus operator. Next up, Monty. I would put him in B. Okay, he has smokes. It's okay. His shield, it takes up a lot of explosive damage. You can survive, I think, 1 C4 and 1 impact to the shield. So you can eat a lot of damage with that shield. But the problem of that is that the process of extending the shield and then taking it back again and aiming down the sides, it's so long that it basically cripples the ability of that operator to be any better. Like it's definitely a team-based operator. Like when you're solo, it's very, very hard to like win a 1v3 situation, especially if the enemies know how to deal with Monty. So like you would have to have 3 enemies that don't know anything about the game and pushing you one by one in order to win that 1v3. Because if you're playing against a well-coordinated team, as a Monty, you're done. You you don't have any chances. Like, you can just type GG in the chat or good round, and you can just give up. Of course, you should still try, but it's the chances of you surviving will be very, very low. I guess if they know what they're doing, then your chances are very, very slim. Okay, next up we have Twitch. Oh boy, where do I put her? Because main gun, 1.5 scope, a very manageable recoil on that gun. Definitely a fast fire rate, so very good time to kill. Pistol P9, it's not really that great. I mean, I don't like it. It's just personal preference. Like, the pistol itself is okay, I just don't like it. For gadget, a drone that can take out gadgets, and the weirdest part for me is that they introduced I can't remember when. I think it was year 6, season 4? Maybe season 3? I can't remember. I can't remember exactly. I can't remember exactly when, but they introduced so that her drones have a infinite range. So you can be 60 meters away with that drone and still take out the gadget because it has infinite range. For me, for me that change was weird. I was definitely happy with the change that they made in terms of her drone that was not able to jump before, which was okay. I understand from the balancing standpoint, like, okay, it hears a drone. Well, okay, well, in the very beginning, there was one drone only, and if I remember correctly, 30 ammunition for it, which each dealt 10 damage, plus, of course, damage to the how's it called, to the gadgets, like, for example, bandit batteries you could take it out with, mute jammers you could take out with the Twitch drone, but it couldn't jump. Like, I understand, okay, well, this drone is super because it can take out gadgets, and if you have clueless enemies, you can eliminate 3 enemies with just one drone, like 3 full health enemies with one drone. So let's make it not jump. I understand that standpoint, but they changed it, and for a very long time it was just a drone that cannot jump, and it was weird. So they brought that back. They introduced it for her drones, and it was definitely a good change. Because it was just pain, pure pain. You had, like, for example, a rotation hole made in such a way that drones cannot just drive through it, and that was it. You couldn't do anything with that drone. Now it can jump. It has rechargeable ammunition. I think it has 3 in total. 3 in total. Yeah, 3 in total ammunition, and then it recharges 1 over a couple seconds. I can't remember the exact time period. I'm sorry for that. I'll probably just put it up on the screen right here. Then for team-based as well, she has smoke grenades. So, like, she's a very versatile operator. This is the first, well, maybe not the first, but another versatile operator that is it definitely doesn't belong anywhere here. Does it belong to A tier, A plus, or S? I would say maybe A plus tier. Ah, this is hard. This is hard. Because you can do very good entry frag with that operator because of the F2 gun, which is like 1.5 scope, 26 bullets, decent damage. So you can entry frag with it definitely. You can help out your team in by taking care of mute jammers, Cade, electro claws, bandit batteries, bulletproof cameras. You can take out a lot of gadgets with your drones, especially since you have two of those. So also you do a lot of intel gathering. Oh boy, where do I put you? I would say actually, I think it's the first operator that I can definitely put in S tier. Pretty much. Yeah, yeah, sounds about right. But then putting Thatcher in S tier. Okay, let's move Thatcher to A plus because like he's not perfect. I think Twitch. I mean, nothing's perfect, but Twitch is one of the operators which are close to being perfect. Yeah, let's leave it at that. Then we have Doc. Doc has recently received a buff, a very interesting buff, because up until that point, Doc was useless. He was bad. Like before the Year 7 Season 3.2 update, I wouldn't put him anywhere near B+. I wouldn't even put him at B. I would put him at C+. Can my mouse start working again? Thank you. I would put him at C+. Before that update, the recent balancing update. But recently, he received a buff with that year 7 season 3.2. He received a buff where he has his gadget heals for 200 HP. Single stim. It used to heal for 40, now it heals for 200. What does it mean? Basically, what it means is that he can suddenly heal like 3 operators, or like just heal 3 times fully. Just fully heal the operators. Wait, sorry, it wasn't. Sorry, no, it wasn't 3.2. It was 3.3. Update. Just remembered. Yeah. So 200 HP. Or was it 3.3? Wait, it was 3.3. Yeah, but point being, like, he has like the stim heals for 200 HP now. So let's say your teammate is at 1 HP, you shoot him with the stim, and he's suddenly back at full health plus 20 health overheal. Because they also changed that, that the overheal is now 20 HP. Used to be 40. But so you have, for example, I don't know, for example, Rook. He has the Rook plate, so he has 145 health. He spawn peaks. He has 1 HP left. He comes to you, you heal him, and for a brief period of time he has 165 health. It then goes back down to 145. So it's definitely, it put him much higher, especially that they also, as a buff, gave him a Bailiff. Bailiff is a pistol that Alibi and Maestro have. I think Oryx as well has it. Yeah, Oryx, Alibi, Maestro have it. It's a secondary pistol which shoots shotgun pellets. So it's just a mini shotgun. why is it helpful? It's helpful because you can make rotation holes, you can make head holes with it, you can do basically side setup. So definitely it brings up Doc in how much he can help the team, because now he can heal 3 operators fully instead of just 1. And he can also, with that same pistol, he can also pick up people from distance. So he doesn't have to come even close. He just has to have them in his line of sight. Take out the pistol, shoot them in the visible body part. They're just up with full health. So this plus the fact that he has, I mean, MP5 isn't that great. It's okay, but the time to kill when you shoot at the torso, it's very slow. So where do I put him? I would say right now he's somewhere like B plus, maybe A even. B plus or A? I would say A to be fair. Or rather, no, but just based on, again, just based on the gun alone, I would put him in B plus. Because like, the MP5 is decent, like it has no recoil, so all you have to do is just point at the head and click. And just hold down the mouse button and you're fine. But it isn't good enough for A, I would say. Same goes with Rook. Like but with Rook it's a kind of a different story because he has the MP5. That's correct. He has a 2.0 scope, if I remember correctly, because they changed the distribution of gadgets with Y7 Season 3. And did they? No, I think his 2.0 scope is still there. It must be. That definitely must be. Because like, I remember that I used it, I think, but was it before the update or? Yeah, no, he still has the 2.0. So 2.0 scope, so definitely very long range. Pistol is P9, but all French GIGN operators have it. So Monty, Doc, Twitch, and Rook have it. Plus, I think Ace has it. Yeah, Ace definitely has it, but the rest of operators I don't know. So for Rook, gadget gives the team plus 20 health, and after recent update, people can withstand. So what happens? If you get downed, but you had a Rook plate, you can pick yourself up. It's a very controversial topic because, for example, Zofia had the withstand, and people were not particularly happy because it was a lore-based ability. There was no like explanation, it was just there that she could pick herself up. Here, I would say it's okay because even before that he already had a lot of team value because he had impacts and he had the gadget where he just puts it down at the beginning of the round and his job is already done. Like he didn't have to do anything. That's why he's like next to Sledge. He's a perfect operator for people that just start playing Siege. He's perfect for that. He's a perfect operator for the new players. So if you're just if you're watching this video and just bought Rainbow Six Siege, let me tell you, for defense, Rook is definitely a great operator for you to start with, because his gun has no recoil at all. It has a 2.0 scope, so you'll be able to see enemies clearly. And then you have impact grenades, which help with your team because you can use it to create rotation holes, or you can save them up, for example, if they have Ulsa, but we'll return to her later. And you have a gadget which you just put at the beginning of the round. Everybody picks it up, and your job is already done. Like, by putting it down, your job is already done. You can do whatever. You can do whatever, really. You can either sit on site and hold it, or you can roam. That's it. So definitely I would put Rook in A. He's not A+, but he's A. Like, if his gun would be better, I would say A, maybe even S tier. But yeah, again, just limiting based on the gun alone. Like MP5, it's okay. It's a okay gun. It's a good gun, but it isn't great. It definitely isn't great. Fuse, gadget, haha. Everything goes plug plug boom boom. Uh, definitely a okay gadget to clear out the bomb sites or clear out any positions, since yeah, it just shoots grenades everywhere in a certain area, so you can put a lot of pressure on the enemies. You can flush out enemies from certain spots. Like, for example, you have somebody sitting in, for example, clubhouse. You have someone sitting in bathroom. You know about it, and for example, there is a reinforced wall. You can still put the gadget on the reinforcements. So you just put it, activate it. Your teammate is waiting at on the bedroom window, watching down into bathroom, and that person that is sitting under the shower, he can just sit. There is nothing he can do. Either he gets a lucky pre-fire on the guy on the window, uh, and somehow manages to escape. But if the person sitting on the window knows what they're doing, like, they will not allow that person to pre-fire them. So that person in that shower is, yeah, it's GG for them. Like, they can just stop moving because they lost. As for guns, before year 7 season 3, the gun the go-to gun was the LMG. The LMGs are so hard to control right now, like especially the LMG that Fuse has, because what happens is that you have a very high initial kick to it. Like, it just goes very high on the first shot, and then you can kind of just pull down and manage the recoil for the next 20-30 bullets. But then it just goes to the moon. It's impossible to control. Like, so suddenly you have those weird left-right movements, and it's just impossible. So that was his go-to gun. Now it's changed, because now AK-12, after the recoil changes, it's suddenly a laser machine. That gun was already good. Before, like, that gun was already good. But now, after they changed its recoil, it's even better. Especially since, again, they gave all magnification scopes up until the maximum level, and I think for Fuse it's a 2.5 scope. So you have the 1.0, you have the 2.0 scope, you have the 2.5 scope, and this gun is a laser. It's just a pure laser. So, I'm sorry, definitely a good fragging potential. Oh yeah, I also forgot secondary gadgets. He has secondary hard breach. What's the second one? I think it's breach charges? No, he doesn't. Never mind. Yeah, he only has 2 gadgets because so suddenly some operators have 3 gadgets and it's just hard to remember. Because like Sledge, if I remember correctly, is one of those operators who have 3 secondary gadgets right now. Because he definitely has nades, he has flashes, I think, and he definitely has impact grenades, like the EMP impacts. So, like, I'm just super confused. Because, yeah, like, there is suddenly so much more to remember. But where do I put him? He's okay. Let's start off with the bottom. He's definitely not situational. He's an okay pick. He's a decent pick. Like, certain spots are not really that useful for him. Like, okay, he's not the other way around. He's not very useful for certain spots, but he's definitely not situational, so that already can be ruled out. C tier, definitely no. C plus, definitely no. B, no. B plus, no. I would say he's A. Because his gadget is okay, it takes some time to set up, and you're very, very vulnerable when you're doing it. For example, when you're doing it on Windows. On Windows, you have to be so careful because a better player, because like, again, sorry, I have to divide the community, but worse players will run away. Better players will hear the sound of a fuse gadget. They will think, okay, which window did I hear it from? And they will just shoot at the window. Because that fuse, at that moment of placing down his gadget, he's vulnerable for those 1.5 or 2 seconds. He can't do anything. He cannot defend himself. So all you have to do is just aim at the window and shoot. Even if you don't eliminate fuse, there is a high chance that you'll shoot down his gadget. So like suddenly he just wasted 1 gadget. So he's definitely easy to counter in that scenario. Like if he's doing it on a reinforced wall, you will hear the sizzling of it cutting through the reinforcement, and there is a delay during which the gadget is like cutting through. You can aim at the certain spot because there's sparks. You can see the sparks of it cutting through, and you can shoot at it once it cuts through the reinforcement. So like there will be only like 1 grenade which goes through then, but still, like it's really easy to counter. I think the hardest to counter would be when it goes through an unreinforced roof. So for example, on Villa, when the bomb site is kitchen, you're sitting in kitchen and identifying in time when, or rather where, the fuse gadget is, if you don't have a C4, then it's okay, you can hear it, but you don't know exactly where, and before you identify where it's going through, you already have to kind of run if you don't want to be damaged. So yeah, so I would put him at A tier. Next up we have Glass. Where do I put you, mister? Okay, because let's start off with how helpful he is to the team. I would say not that much. Like, I haven't seen a single good Glass player. It's a tough. At the same time, he's easy to understand how to play, but it's tough to execute. Especially since he has a counter. Because before year 4 season 2, there was no counter to Glass. All you could do was to wait, because how his gadget works, his gadget works in that way that when he has some kind of smoke, let it be smoke's gas or smoke as in smoke grenade, he can see right through it. And your body will lit up like a Christmas tree. So basically it's a thermal sight. And his gun, like the DMR, it's okay. It's not great, but it's not horrible. It's okay. It's decent. For pistols, he has the GSH, the PMM, I think. Or actually, no, wait, he has the GSH and the Gun 6, if I remember correctly. And then for secondaries, he has smokes and he has grenades, frag grenades. But for him, in order to use his gadget properly, well, you need smokes. Now they complicated it a bit because before you could move around, you could jump up, jump down, spin in 360s, run around, and you would still see with your gadget. Now you have to kind of like stay still and do minimal movements in order for the gadget to work. But yeah, now he also has the counter in cases of warden and some bulletproof cameras, because bulletproof cameras can see through smoke, as well as maestro cameras, so that you can just red spot him and your teammate just kind of blindly puts a spray through that. And what do we do with you, mister? Because like his gun, it's okay. His gadget is okay for just picking off random people who don't know that he's there. Yeah, he's useful when you don't know he's there. That's the part about him, because you see a smoke. You see a smoke being laid down. Like the first thing a lot of people do is just pick the smoke and spray through it. They're just spraying through it because like, okay, he might be entering the site, or okay, he might be planting. The first thing somebody does is picks the smoke, and that's where if you don't know that they have a glass, because he's not a very often picked operator. Like, let me switch to the designer notes. Okay, there we go. You can't even see glass. He's right over here. Let me zoom in. Like, he's... Wait, where is he? Oh wait, that's defenders. Here we go. He's right here. He's being picked as often, or even less often, than Blitz. And Blitz is picked very rarely. He's picked as a troll operator when you just want to have fun, or when you want to troll your teammates for whatever reason. But like, he's all the way down here. He's not picked very often. So like, when you see a smoke, you don't think, aha, glass. You think, aha, termite. Aha, Twitch. Aha, who else has smokes? Monty. Osa has smokes, but since they introduced the impact grenade, EMP impacts, you usually use impacts. Who else has smokes? Jackal has smokes. So you think, aha, Jackal. You think about all of those operators that are picked more often, rather than for example, glass. So your natural reaction is, well, to peek the smoke. So that is the only situation where he's actually useful. Where do I put him? I'll say B. He's definitely not B plus. I would say B. Because like S, no. A plus, no. A, no. But he's also not a C operator. I'll say like B. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, B is okay. Oh boy, where do I put Lord Tachanka himself? Honestly? Honestly, I have to do this, I'm sorry. meme operator. I'm sorry. Like, I just have to put it there. Because, like, he's not situational. He's not, like, he's CC+, but, like, he's more of a meme operator. You don't, like, okay, he's, or actually, because, like, after, okay, because before he was a meme operator, like, he was a full-on meme operator. You just picked it for the memes. Because, like, you had an okay SMG, his gadget was completely, it completely didn't fit with what the game was trying to be. So, okay, maybe C tier, because like right now, his main gun is the gun that he used to put on the turret, so it can create a lot of you can create lots of rotation holes on it with it. And your gadget is area denial similar to smoke, so like I would say maybe C+. Yeah, that I would say C+. And there is nothing else that needs to be said about that operator. I'm serious. Like, his gun is okay, but for site setup. His gun is okay, but for site setup. Because like secondary gadget, he has barbed wire and something else. I don't even know. I just don't use that operator that much. And his main gadget is okay. It's area denial, so he's only useful at that. Then we have Capcan. Capcan, yeah, I would say A tier. Why? And for the new players, this is another pick that you can just do. He's okay. Like, in order to play, like a lot of people think that in order to be good as Capcan, you need to understand the map. You need to understand the map, the flow of the map. So like, where do people usually go? So like, for example, we have Consulate. Aha, a lot of people use yellow stairs. Let's put some traps there. That is wrong. Capcan is an operator where you put your stuff randomly in the most random spots and it works. Why? I have no clue. You just put it in the most random spots. Because a lot, like how people play Capcan, like a lot of people play Capcan in such a way that they put Capcan on the doors of site. That is not a good idea. You want to put it in some random, completely random spots. For example, you have your site is let's say clubhouse basement, so armory and church. Okay, where do I put Capcan traps? I would put one in freezer, one in bathroom, one in like main lobby, like my main lobby entering into bar, and maybe one trap on each door, like one from garage and one from blue. That's where I would put the Capcan traps. In the most random spots imaginable. Okay, maybe okay, like you can kind of justify the blue because that's where usually people tend to go, and bar door, but bathroom, freezer, no one is going to look there. Trust me. Like if you do an experiment, you play 10 games on Clubhouse, I can guarantee that if you are on basement and you put those traps there in those spots that I said, I would say in 5 games at least one triggers. At least. In at least 5 games. I would even say more, but it depends. It depends on the level. So it depends on the level of play, because where like I would do a bell curve to show you, because usually how bell curve looks like, right? You have, it goes like this, then it goes up, and then it goes down, right? That's how a bell curve looks. Here you have the extremes, and that's the average, correct? So, how does it look like in terms of Capcom traps? And how often do they work? Here you have that's how it works. Confused? Let me explain. Here, let's mark it with red. Here, we have copper, bronze, and silver. Like copper, bronze, low silver. Then, here we have high silver, gold, and low plat. Right? This is where it works the least amount of times. Suddenly, what happens? You have high plat, diamond, and champion. And it starts working great again. Because a lot of people don't properly draw. Okay, maybe not. I can speak for how it looks in champion. So wait, what was the color of the champion? Champion rank was like reddish. So like for champion. Sorry for my beautiful drawing skills in paint. I'll put a big question mark. But I can definitely tell you in diamond, low diamond, high plat, Capcan works so often that you just can't imagine. Last time I played with my team on a diamond lobby, in a single round, I heard 3 Capcan traps being triggered. 3 out of 5 in diamond. Let me remind you, diamond 3 is top 0.5% right now. It's top 0.5%. So people in top 1% don't, when they know, because that's the best part, they knew we had a Capcan. They know that we have a Capcan. And they still managed to trigger 3 out of 5 traps. So it's just weird. It's just plain weird that we managed to get it like that. So yeah, in terms of Capcan traps and how it's useful, it's a inverted bell curve. In the average, it's the lowest. On the extremes, so like low copper. Why it works in copper and bronze? Because just people don't look. People just don't look. They don't drone, they don't look, they don't do anything. In silver and gold, they're more sensitive to that. They look at the doors, they try to like remember about Capcan traps. So that is the place where they're activated, I would say the least. But then it goes up again in Plat because people stop looking at the doors on at the bottom of the doors. Their crosser is always at head level. And they just forget about Capcan because there is so much stuff they need to remember. They just sometimes just completely forget about Capcan, or they didn't even drone out. They're just going in. So that's why Capcan works really great. Actually, do I put him in A+? I convinced myself to put him in A+. Because he's definitely not S tier. Or is he? Because like he has a C4, he has impact, but C4 is used more often. PMM is a good pistol. The 9x19 SMG is okay. It has a 1.5 scope, low recoil. Time to kill is okay. Jesus, do I put him in S tier? You know what? I'm going to put him in S tier for now. Because like his gadget is... It's okay. It's good. And he's, again, as I said, a very good operator for the beginning players. Then we have Blitz, meme operator. I don't have to say anything about that. I'm just not going to say, like, I'm not even gonna waste time on him Just meme operator. There is nothing else that needs to be said. IQ. I would say B. Yeah, like B. B tier. Because like she used to be A tier operator because she had frags. And yeah, she used to have frags, she used to be played more often. And her LMG used to be very good, but now it's kind of like eh. It's not as good as it used to be. Especially since they took away the ACOG from her and any other magnification scope. So yeah, it's not really that great now. Like her gadget is okay, but a lot of people don't know how to use it. That's the problem. That's the problem with IQ right now. Because a lot of people just don't know how to use the gadget. Okay, so Bandit, where do I put you? I would put him like A+. Because like, he has a great gun, MP7 is great. Pistol is okay. His gadget contributes to the team. Because if you're skilled, like you can completely deny breaching of the wall from the enemies by bandit tricking, which is where you have no bandit charges on the wall and you listen on which wall the breaching charges are being put, and on that wall you place your bandit charge and it destroys the gadget. That's how it works. In theory, it's a bit harder because usually what people do when they're okay, aha, this guy is bandit tricking. So what they will do is they will throw a nade, or if they have a capital, for example, chalet. Let's give the example of chalet. Uh, they'll just shoot a. First, they'll try to burn the ADSs because that's what you usually do. But if there are no ADSs, or WAMI gadgets, what they'll do is put a firebolt through the drone hole, and then Termite just breaches the wall which is the closest to the drone hole, so the left wall. Well, from perspective of the defenders, it's the right wall, but from perspective of the attackers, it's the left wall, and you cannot do much about it. That's why he's also not S tier operator in my eyes. Like, he can do a lot, but definitely not S tier. Jaeger, where do I put you? Do I put you in B plus or do I put you in A? Because like he's definitely not S tier, he's definitely not A plus. I would say maybe A tier. Like his gun, it's okay. It has a okay time to kill. His gadget is useful for the team. So it can eat a lot of utility, it can eat a lot of nades, it can eat a lot of flashes, but the problem with it is that it only stops one and then it has to recharge. Before it used to burn down 2 grenades, if I remember, and then it would get destroyed. 2 or 3. It was a long time ago when they changed it, so I can't remember. But like, yeah, gun, gadgets, like his main gadget is very useful. Secondary gadgets, barbed wire, bulletproof cam, so like it can contribute to the team. I would say it's A. I wouldn't say it's A plus because, or do I? He's like definitely not an S tier operator, that's for sure. But I just don't feel that he's A.